everybody and welcome back to my channel. Those of you that are new here, I'm Kat Meffan and I have the amazing Rhiannon Lambert with me. I'm going to let her just give you a little introduction because I feel like there's loads of letters that come after your name that I don't know what they all are.
I don't put the letters after my name, but hello everyone, it's such a pleasure to be sat here with Kat again. This girl is amazing. So I'm a registered nutritionist. I have a first-class degree in nutrition and health, so that's kind of my grounding base in nutrition. I then went on to study a master's degree in obesity, risks prevention, and then further from that, I have quite a few diplomas specialising in eating disorders, psychology. I have something with the British Psychology Society, just to make sure that I'm backed up with that kind of area as well. And on top of that, I have a few other kind of qualifications on the side. But it's great. I love studying, and nutrition is my thing.
So basically, if there were ever anyone qualified enough to talk about what we're about to talk about, it's this girl.
It might be me.
It's most definitely you. So the reason we are chatting today is we're talking all about binge eating, which is kind of like a speciality of yours and something you talk about a lot with your clients and things like that. And those of you that have been following me for a while, you will know about my past, which I'm very open to talking about. I suffered with bulimia from a young age, and it's something that I don't think I'll ever say. I don't feel like anyone can ever say like, oh, I'm over that.
No, definitely
But I
not.
do feel like a different person.
Yeah.
And even though I don't suffer from bulimia anymore, of course there are days where I have the down days. I still have days where I binge.
Yeah.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
As do so many people. So that's really what we want to talk about today. And so the first, I guess the first place that I want to go to with you is what are the signs that you might be about to kind of binge? What are the things that people can maybe look for?
Okay, so telltale signs that there's something up. First of all, you have to be very, very aware of your mood and the day that you've just had. So if you need to know your triggers and your stressful points. So we all have them. Like Kat quite rightly said, nobody is perfect. I think everybody has a moment where they perhaps overeat, or a binge is very different from overeating. So first of all, be aware of those two different things. When you're in a binge state, you kind of lose all sense of what's going on.
It's that loss of control, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then
like
it's
a
only
trance.
afterwards that you kind of... I think I used to feel like almost unconscious for that moment and then be like, oh...
And then you forget what
happened.
you've even just eaten, and it's and you can get to yourself a point where you're in physical pain and very uncomfortably full. But I think be very, very aware of your emotions would be number one. Check in with yourself and your actions. So if you're about to walk into the kitchen, you know that's the place. You know that is your kind of danger zone. I would try and walk out of that room. Instead, try and write down what you're feeling. Often if you can't even think about what you're feeling to write it down, you know there's a problem.
Yeah.
They're kind of three things that we do in clinic. If you can't physically open a notebook and write something down about how you're actually feeling in that moment, if you don't understand it, that could be the moment.
Yeah, that's when you kind of know that there's an issue because
you
you
feel
can't
your heart.
quite...
You know, you feel the beating in your chest, you
All
go
the
hot.
But you, I remember, and I get this every now and again, but when I was younger, I'd walk into for instance, like a prep or something, and I would just stand there and have this like cold sweat but be boiling hot and just not know what to go for.
Complete anxiety, overwhelmed. Yeah.
And it was awful, absolutely awful. So you guys can kind of see, you know, where we're going with that, and it's all about, I guess, learning more about yourself and your emotions, writing things down, that kind of thing. And then what about afterwards? So say you didn't quite notice that and you just went for the binge, you come out of this sort of trance-like state and you realise what's happened, you've made maybe full of guilt, maybe the people that are suffering with bulimia are tempted to purge. What are the kind of next steps?
Okay, so after an episode of binging, the best thing you can do is do some self-care, guys. And I know that is actually the hardest thing because you kind of feel, some people feel they need to punish themselves further, which might be the whole purging thing. Some people feel they need to go out for a walk. Actually getting outside and getting some fresh air,
one of the best
can
things.
be really, really good. Going and doing something you love. Go and literally call a friend. Have a chat. Focus, look at your diary. What are you doing that week that you can put in right in that moment to make yourself, have something to look forward to? And to do with food, guys, the best thing you can do is get back on track. Do not skip your next meal, as hard as it may seem. Just have a nice light meal afterwards, something that's very nourishing, very healthy, lots of colour, vegetables, things that are going to make you feel really good.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is restrict.
And I think that's a massive one, isn't it? That the guilt that then leads to the cutting of the meals.
Which leads to another binge.
Yeah, I think that's so key. And that's something that I used to do, which is actually what you said. Whenever, so years ago, whenever I kind of like felt, this was in my recovery stage, but if I ever felt a bit of a relapse coming on, I would call Rob, and my partner, and I kind of trained him, I guess, to... Not trained him, but I said to him, like, this is my situation. This is how I am. Yeah. And so I'd ring him and I'd be like, I don't feel great. I feel very full. I feel very guilty. And he would literally be like, so how was your meeting today? What did you do? And just
take you away.
Yeah, not kind of like that whole... Don't get me wrong, it's great to talk about it, but for me it really helped to just have my mind taken off it. Because then for those 20 minutes that I was talking to him, a lot of the feelings would actually pass very quickly. Yeah. So that really helped me.
I mean, actually, in terms of stop delay tactics, there's several things that you guys can try and kind of put into action. So in that moment, walk out of the room and literally count to 20 seconds. Next time, count to 40 seconds and keep building on that time. Take deep breaths. Yeah. So really focus on your breathing. Like Kat said, distracting for a long enough period of time actually relieve the sense and the urge to go and binge anyway, or to have a moment. And using different pressure points on your body. So underneath your collarbone, we've all got a kind of tender spot. I don't know if you can feel it. It's kind of, you know, if you go for a massage and it's that pain, but it's a good pain. And if you kind of rub that spot, that's a natural point in the body, a natural pressure point. If you've ever been to acupuncture, you guys will know this. And then you take big breaths and you focus on your breathing, which Kat would do very, very, very well. She would do that with me.
I'm a big fan of breath work.
In, out, and then again, just count and change the situation.
It's very calming.
Yeah, this is a natural calm point in the body.
It's, and like you say, it's like, it's painful, but
a good pain.
Yeah.
And some people tap. So if you've ever done tapping,
yes, I do a lot of like work on the meridian lines and stuff like that. So that's really helpful.
It's really helpful, and then it may not stop you guys from going out there and binging, but the next time it will be a little bit longer. If you can keep putting a delay, and we call it stop delay tactics.
Okay.
The longer you build up to it. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for that. So the other thing is, obviously this is such a broad topic, but I think it would be really helpful for these guys to talk about the first steps to working towards a healthier relationship with food.
Definitely. Okay, so if this is you and you are caught at the moment in an unhealthy relationship with food, my first tip as a nutritionist would be to balance your blood sugar levels. So you may be in a chaotic routine. First of all, routine and structure can actually save you. It's all very well saying eat intuitively, but if you are someone that has episodes of binging,
you need to get that control in first, I guess.
Definitely. You need to retrain those gut signals. So your gut is like a second brain inside your body. So you've got two brains. The signals that tell you when you're hungry and you're full start here and work their way up. It's not your brain telling your stomach what to do. So we need to retrain it. It sounds really childish, but imagine you're feeding. Imagine you have an inner child, a little kid that's a younger version of yourself that you're walking around.
And if you do yoga, you do have an inner child. We all have an inner child.
So we all have an inner child, which I love, and it is yourself. And if you were to look after that child, you would feed it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to do that for yourself. That's what you should do. Imagine you're walking around with a younger version of yourself. What would you want to do for this 3-year-old child? Feed it regularly, look after it. If you can get yourself into a routine where you're having breakfast, maybe a snack, if that's the type of person you are, protein-based snack, lunch, snack, dinner, you are on your way to avoiding this crazy erratic sugar that can stimulate cravings. And my second tip is take out stimulants, from your diet. If you're someone that's drinking a lot of artificial syrups in your coffees, and coffee, if you're addicted to caffeine can be good and bad, but if you're binge eating in excess,
it's not great.
It's not good if you're having 6 cups a day, let's say.
Gosh.
It will make a binge worse.
I don't drink coffee, and after one, I notice suddenly I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Imagine if I had 6, I'd be mental.
Some people do, and Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah,
sugar, lots
sugars.
of chocolate in your diet. I mean, I'm not saying sugar's the devil,
No.
guys, but if you are tackling a disordered relationship with food, the best thing you can do is to nourish yourself. And I literally mean enjoy food.
Yeah.
Have a big shepherd's pie for dinner. Have normal healthy salads at lunchtime. Have porridge for breakfast. Food that's giving your body. Every time you look at food, think of it as your medicine, something that's giving you something, rather than trying to stave off hunger like a can of Coke or give you some extra sugar.
Yeah, I think, and that's so important. And I think back when I was very unwell, the whole giving your body that sugar, it was sort of like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat today, so I'll have these things because I know that that's enough energy. Stimulant to just get me through the day, but then my moods,
your calorie counting, the moods, and then if you've got a low mood or that roller coaster in terms of sugar and mood, you're more predisposed to binging, guys, because it all affects this thing called an opioid center in our brain, where we've got happy hormones and sad hormones and all this stuff going on. We need that to be at peace, basically.
At peace. That sounds good.
Easier said than done. I know it's easier said than done.
But these are all stepping stones, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to do this video, so that you guys just, I guess, could relate as well. Like, I'm someone that's been through it, and so
I've been there. You know, back in the day, I didn't have a healthy relationship with food growing up.
Exactly, and I think that there isn't anyone on this planet that can say that they are just perfect and they've got it down. Everyone has their days.
They do.
Now, so this is the kind of final topic, but it's probably one that could go on for a little bit because this is really important. So I wanted to chat to Rhi about how you feel, the pros and cons of Instagram when you are dealing with issues like this. Hit me.
Okay, I hope you guys are ready for this. First of all, just to start on, let's say, a positive note, Instagram is a wonderful platform for meeting like-minded people. I would never have met Kat.
Indeed.
I wouldn't have a lot of the new friends I have now. However, working in a clinic for me that specialises in eating disorders, I see the destructive impact, unfortunately, of social media every single day. In fact, I've got my Skype clients this afternoon, and a lot of them are going through this at the moment. I've seen a rise in something called orthorexia as well as the binge eating.
Could you explain orthorexia a little bit?
So orthorexia comes from the Greek word ortho, which means a derivative of aspiring for purity all the time. So I have some clients that will only touch organic food that is green, because they will avoid the sugars in red foods and orange food. Yeah, so I have some clients that are scared to drink water on the go because it's not been purified or it's not been through a filter. It's basically a form of restriction. 100%, but it's kind of emerged from clean eating, which is something I know you guys may have heard of, but it did develop on social media.
And I would like to just chip in and say, like, I don't actually, clean eating has kind of got this...
Lost its meaning.
Has totally lost its meaning. People are very negative, they put negative connotations to it now, but ultimately, it doesn't need to be that.
No.
It's exactly what we're talking about, nourishing, colourful foods, and with a little bit of, here's another one, balance.
I love it, because there's no definition for clean eating, but we see it as being, oh, nice, it's a great, healthy choice, but some people took it too far, and it wasn't balanced.
No, and that's how it kind of got this sort of, I guess, dirty vibe around it, when actually...
Just as balance shouldn't be going out and scoffing cake every day, because that's not healthy either, and we've lost the kind of meaning of what it is to have a healthy relationship with food completely, and social media has a lot to answer for.
It does, and there's a lot happening at the moment with comparisons and things like this.
These food pictures, so first of all, I'm all about nutrients, not numbers, guys. So calorie counting, macro counting is just the new calorie counting in my eyes, if I'm being honest. It does not help. If you have disordered eating, please do not macro count, please do not calorie count. All these pictures telling you how many calories are in before and after, and bloating pictures of a stomach before and after. I actually see these things as, unfortunately, not always trying to help you, but just trying to gain attention in the wrong manner, perhaps, potentially.
Yeah, I think obviously we don't know the people behind them and what their intentions were, and we have the utmost respect for a lot of people out there, but
if you suffer from disordered eating, I would unfollow accounts that are comparisons.
Then these pages, aren't necessarily for you. And it's really important, isn't it, if you notice that I guess an Instagrammer or an account is triggering feelings within you.
We've all got them, guys. So it could be that you feel under pressure to behave a certain way because your favourite Instagrammer does something. The thing is, not everyone's going to be good for you. Everyone's trying to put out their own message. They're not aware of the effect it has on you. So it's not that person's fault, but you need to take responsibility sometimes for how you feel. If I know that something doesn't make me feel good, I won't want to particularly look at it. So that would be the advice that I'd give, especially accounts maybe to do a body image if it's making you feel low. It should be picking you up every day.
Yeah.
Social media is here to make you feel good, not bad.
Exactly, and I think that it's really important that we voice these things. And yes, all these it's obvious, guys.
It is.
When you've got a smoothie bowl or a porridge bowl and you add a topping to it, of course the calories are going to go up. But these things shouldn't make you think, oh my gosh, now I'm not going to put any apple on top of my porridge.
No.
You know, and I think unfortunately, I'm not saying this for everyone, but I think unfortunately they are having that effect on some people.
It is forming restrictive eating habits, and guys, you've got to remember that calories they're not equal and they're not correct. So that picture may say that number of calories, but actually it won't be the same inside your body. Kat and I could eat the same meal, but it would be a different number of calories inside our body going to different places because you're all unique. You're genetically unique, and it depends where they come from. So 100 calories of apple compared to 100 calories of chocolate. Well, I wonder which is going to give your body some benefits.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's, I guess, just something you guys really need to be aware of.
Yeah.
And this isn't, obviously, I love Instagram. We
both do.
We love it. And we have, we met via social media, and we've met many of our good friends via social media, and it's an incredible platform, but you need to be savvy. And if you feel that you are in this sort of like binge state or this kind of anxious, depressive state with body image and stuff like that, then the wellness industry on Instagram maybe isn't for you at that time in your life.
Agreed. Social media detox, as I call them. I set challenges to my clients. Try and have the whole weekend.
Best thing ever.
Yeah,
I
without
do it.
looking at your phone.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's like you look up, you're like, oh, trees.
This is the world. Because not everyone, believe it or not, is on social media. There's a whole world out there with people that are not on it.
Although there is a worryingly number of people on Facebook.
That is true.
I'm not.
Facebook's taken over the world. Yeah, that's true. Social media. Does Facebook own Instagram now?
Yes.
There you go.
So kind of maybe I am.
A little bit. But that's one thing to be aware of, guys, is that people are always trying to sell you things as well. So do follow people. Check for sponsored posts always. If something is sponsored, always get qualified advice.
Yes. And if you follow an account, they should only be working with a sponsored brand that they believe in and is right for them.
Yeah.
Like, I am so honoured that I get to work with brands, but I turn down more brands than I take on.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to know, and so should a lot of other influencers.
Definitely. I mean, I couldn't dream of working with certain food brands.
Yeah.
Can you imagine McDonald's calling me up? Probably wouldn't work.
I did once have an email from Subway, and I was like,
did you?
Really? But what was the most worrying thing was that they were working with Olympic athletes. It was around the time of London 2012. And I was just horrified that these, I mean, obviously, if they're a main sponsor, then maybe the athletes don't have a choice. No. Fine. But from my side, I was like,
you had a choice?
No.
Bye-bye.
I don't think so. So, thank you so much to Rhiannon for joining us. I am going to link to Rhiannon's Instagram, website, Facebook, everything
and we'll
below.
drop some places where you guys can go if you need to get help.
Yes.
I'll give Kat a list of some
perfect. And if you have any questions, do comment below. Be aware that obviously we both are, well, I am not a trained nutritionist to be able to answer your questions, but if you wanted to get in touch with Rhiannon directly and she could, do sessions, do you have open space for sessions at the moment, or are you chock-a-block?
I do. I've just hired a new nutritionist actually.
There you go.
So now do drop me an email if you need any help.
Okay, and I'm going to plug something for you. Rhiannon has a book out.
Oh, I do.
Not yet, but it's end of the year, right?
In December, I do. It's very, very exciting, and I will be looking at healing relationships with food in the book. So.
I'm so excited. I was watching Rhiannon's Instagram story the other day when you got a proof of it, and you were like crying.
Ridiculous. It is absolutely. I'm very, very excited. So I hope it can help so many people. That's just my goal. I want it to help people. I don't think there's anything like it out there. So.
No. So obviously make sure you're following us both, and when it's out I will be shouting about it as well.
Sweet.
So yay! Thank you!
She always cheers up my day, you know.
We will see you again next Wednesday for another, well we won't, but I will. But I will have you back again soon, I hope.
Thank you.
You'll join me.
Can't wait.
Much love.
Bye.
Bye.